Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Hopefully, you've all had a wonderful Wednesday. We're going to dive into Cardano ADA in this video. It's been a little while since our last update. Last week, however, we did post an interview that I did with the Wing Riders team. Always a pleasure talking to those two. And Wing Riders is definitely a serious competitor in the Cardano deck space. That is for sure. So if you haven't already seen that, make sure you go and check that out. But this is really just going to be a general video on ADA. We've previously came out and given our sort of accumulation zones, which happen to be lower than where we currently are. And we will touch on the price, but really when it comes to the price, if you want to understand what's really driving the price right now, of course, Cardano is tied to Bitcoin, just like all altcoins, but Bitcoin is really tied to the broader financial landscape. And for those of you that only really watch my ADA videos, it's well worth subbing and watching my daily cryptocurrency market overviews, if you will, because I feel like we've got a really good grasp on things, and we've certainly had a cautious approach for a while now. We don't get everything right. We thought the bull market was going to extend, wasn't the case. And we're dealing with a situation that we're now in. So we will touch on the price, but really this is going to be a video, an update on ADA, given everything that's happened. We were supposed to have the Vasil Hardfork in around about 7 days. That has now been delayed a month. I'm totally fine with this. This is blockchain. Get used to delays on shipping out the likes of hard forks. It's a common occurrence. And in actual fact, it is a blessing in disguise. If they rushed it, you can have problems down the line, whereas they've identified, I think, around about 7 bugs, non-severe, and they're looking to sort of postpone things till next month. The last 2 weeks in July, I think, is quoted, but we can have a little read of this article and kind of set that straight. There's been lots going on in regards to, the Linux Foundation did a fireside chat with somebody from Cardano. Now, this is significant. Cardano, despite the price, and this is something really key to understand, the price isn't driven by external Cardano related things. It's really driven by everything else going on at the moment. And we have a far more efficient, in practically every single way, blockchain than what we did when Cardano was $3. The markets are markets at the end of the day, and they move off of that. Whereas in terms of a blockchain, if you're weighing Cardano as a blockchain up based on price, it's not very correlated. It's not a good representation. But the blockchain itself is doing extremely well. It's going from partnership to partnership. This is potentially onto something here, and we will play the clip as we get through everything. And then we've got this tweet from Charles saying that he's just received a formal invitation to speak before the US House of Representative Committee, essentially on blockchain, and it's going to be live on the 23rd of June, which is tomorrow. And this is him obviously flying over there to testify. And then just a reminder, we will get into the fact that, you've still got now 1,017 projects building on top of ADA. That's not taken long to accrue that amount of projects looking to build on top of the Cardano blockchain. This is going to continue to expand. It already drives the usage and utility for ADA. There's still tokenomics at play here, despite the price, and we know what's sort of leading that. So let's start things off with the Vasil hard fork and its delay. Essentially, progress continues positively, with only minor bugs remaining. Today, however, we have agreed to ensure the core dev team and Cardano ecosystem collaborations have more time for testing before commencing the mainnet countdown. So the original date for the Vasil hard fork was the 29th, I believe. So this month, around about 7 days away. And they've now postponed this till the last 2 weeks in July, I think. So we've got about a month to go until we actually get this hard fork. I'm totally fine with this. I don't think there's any reason to be annoyed about this. At the end of the day, if you care about Cardano, it's not about rushing things. The whole thesis for ADA has always been to take a sort of slow and steady approach, which we've actually seen in light of the Luna situation, Solana right now, be a very positive approach to have. Yes, we may be slow to market, but when we reach market, it's with an adapt product. On Friday, the core input-output global IOG team working towards the Vasil upgrade held its regular end-of-week evaluation call. Today, Monday, June the 20th, was the latest date that we could give to facilitate a Cardano testnet update before the next epoch boundary. So we agree to reevaluate the latest situation or status this afternoon, taking into account the work our engineers did over the weekend. The IOG engineer team is extremely close to finalizing the core work, with just 7 bugs still outstanding to complete the hard fork work. With none currently ranked as severe, after some consideration, we have agreed not to send the hard fork update proposal to the testnet today. To allow more time for testing. So they're essentially postponing things. You know, the testnet was indeed supposed to be on the 29th, and it's now looking like it's going to be the last couple of weeks of July. Next little thing I wanted to get into was this. I'll play the clip, and then we'll talk about it quickly before we move on.
I'm going to put this here. Our next speakers need no introduction. It's become kind of a great tradition, and we're really excited to welcome back open source veteran Dirk Hondolf, who is now the Chief Open Source Strategist at the Cardano Foundation, and the creator of Linux and Git, Linus Torvalds.
We'll leave that there, but essentially, you know, Cardano is all over the shop at the moment, certainly in terms of you know, its name being out there and people recognizing it, whether it be famous people jumping on board or, you know, the likes of the Linux Foundation interviewing somebody from the Cardano Foundation. We've got Charles going to the House of Representatives. This is certainly going to be interesting. It's going to be good to see. This is going to be live tomorrow, so we'll probably do an update on this. It's going to be really good to see actually what comes out of that, because we know that crypto is still very much in this kind of gray area. I think the only clarity that we have is on Bitcoin and Ethereum, valued as a commodity. I think that's the SEC sort of benchmark. However, the rest of the crypto space really sort of stays in this gray area. So this is all progress towards adoption through regulation. You know, I believe regulation is going to be a huge driver of the next stage of adoption. So the fact that the likes of, you know, the founder of Cardano is getting asked to go to these is certainly a step in the right direction. And this is a picture from his Twitter of him heading over there, usually wearing a cowboy hat. Just a reminder that there's over 1,000 projects now building on top of Cardano, and its ecosystem continues to grow. This is all driving utility. Remember, we don't even have the likes of stable coins yet. You know, we know the Luna story has turned out to be a catastrophe through the sort of management of their fund, of their foundation. However, you know, I still do believe that an algorithmic stablecoin can work, just not the way that they did it. We've got the likes of Jed coming on. You know, I think stablecoins are a huge driver of DeFi on an ecosystem, and also demand for the underlying token that sort of the ecosystem is built on. So we've got a lot coming around the corner. Leading into price, you know, price really doesn't represent any of that. It more represents the overall market status. You guys know that we are looking for lower prices, as we think the economy generally and the cryptocurrency market with the equity market is still set for more downside. But we will absolutely be looking to accumulate more ADA just at cheaper prices, because this is a blockchain that you guys will all be well aware at this point that we're very passionate about and believe in long term. And of course, we'll be looking to take advantage of the cheap prices that I think we get. So will we see, and there's always still this question of, okay, well, you know, prior hard forks, typically you'll get a run up to the hard fork in terms of price. Well, we have often said that has been previously in bull markets, you know, where markets have really picked up on the momentum of the hard fork and got behind it from a sort of trading aspect. The issue that you've got now is the market conditions are just simply different. You know, it really depends what Bitcoin does. And we've had that stance for a while. Lots of people were expecting the run up this month. We have previously came out and said, look, that could happen, but Bitcoin has got to allow you to do that. And that's just how this market is currently working, guys. And for me, from an investment point of view, all the risk is still to the downside, even given just how down the market already is. And we've said this on our sort of daily cryptocurrency market updates for a while now, that this is the first time in Bitcoin's history, remember Bitcoin only came out in 2008, that Bitcoin has had to go through a period like this. If you look at markets broadly from 2008 onwards, we'll use the NASDAQ as a perfect example, although we could have pulled up any. You know, this is 2008. Sorry, guys, this is 2008. you know, and since then, markets have only really gone in one direction. So are we moving into maybe a different kind of, you know, period over the next couple of months? That's going to be interesting to see how Bitcoin deals. But the risk deals with that. But the risk for me is always, or is at the moment still to the downside, and not looking to bet against the trend. But Cardano will recover, guys. There's no doubt in my mind about it. It's still a top 10 crypto, and it's remained in a top 10 crypto really since it came about. If you go and look at the historical snapshot on CoinMarketCap, you'll see that it was still lurking around the top 10, maybe even top 5 back in 2017. So it's not going anywhere. That is really all I've got for you in this video. It's just a comprehensive update on everything. We'll catch you in the next one, and stay tuned for more Cardano update, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.